I forgot to hit the button, guys. Stop making that noise. Seamless. That was seamless, boys. Boy, howdy, was that ever a seamless transition into a Monday live stream. I pushed the wrong button, and it didn't activate. Look at that shadow back there on the vacuum. It means I got a vacuum. Yeah, it means I got a vacuum. I think that's why it's there. Ha ha! Whew, high energy, bros. What's up? It's Monday, February 20th, 2023. The year of the sandwich, the year of our Lord, or whatever. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Why am I'm not in focus. There. Now I'm in focus. Oh, let's zoom it in. We'll zoom it in to enhance. Okay, there we go. We zoomed in too much. Guys. Boys, girls, ladies, gents, we zoomed in too much. Okay. First off, we got to do the first thing on Monday here. Where's the desk? I don't know. I'll put my elbow on it. First thing we got to do today is shout out to Mikey Fishy for being first to the chat. Congratulations, my friend. Mikey Fishy was first, and that is, in fact, a congratulatory event. So appreciate it. Appreciate it oh so much for being the first. Love it. Just revel in the beauty of being first to the chat. Why not? Frank Dominguez is here. Why Are We Always Yelling, otherwise known as Huawei, is here. Nabokov fan 87. Maybe nail art. Finally awake for a live stream. Can't promise. I promise I won't fall asleep during. I don't know what that means. It's like the middle of the day here. It's 1:20 p.m. In the daytime, so don't fall asleep. It's a weird time to fall asleep. But I don't know where you are. Where are you? Tell me where you are. Actually, just what time zone. It doesn't need to be specific, but what's your time zone? That's a big giant swath of the earth that you'd be in. Or just tell me what time it is where you're at. So that's the thing. Because Kiwi Mamo says good morning. Because, in fact, in New Zealand, it is morning time. You know what I mean? Tomorrow. It's morning time tomorrow. They already have a bad case of the Tuesdays in New Zealand, out there in Hobbiton. I heard there was some massive flooding and crazy storms going on in New Zealand recently. Hope everyone is okay. I haven't seen Joel G in the chat, which would mean he probably has been washed away by a giant flood because he's not in the chat. Where is he at? What is going on? How can this be? Nabokov fan says, hey, everyone doing research in research mode for a bigger project. I feel like I have a few too many questions. Sitting here doing research, watching one of Corvus videos, and then, what do you know? Stream is about to start. That's right. That's always a good time. They're followed up by, hey, Joel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. How's the bump on your noggin doing? Well, I have it on my notes here. I have it in my notes. Why did my mouse cursor go backwards? That was weird. Where's my notes? Head bonks. Right here. It's entitled Head Bonks. Let's put it in bold. Let's bold. We'll throw the bold and italic on the head bonks. There we go. Head bonks. We have healed from the head bonks and can now update the accident board to 7 days without a head bonk. I had multiple head bonks, if you guys weren't around or paying attention or just frankly didn't care. I got bonked in the head, and I had a bunch of scratches. And then those were healed up, and then I got bonked in the head again and had a big cut right over here. So, I don't know. But they've healed and are now not a problem. So, we're okay. We're doing okay. I slowed down with getting hit in the head with bonks. You know, the bonks have slowed. So we do have one of those whiteboards that you see like at a construction site, at a job site, It says how many days without accident. Currently says 7. Although this early morning, I was picking up some lumber, and I wang-jangled the crap out of my finger, which luckily doesn't seem to be as bleeding as bad as I thought it was going to somehow. I have no idea how it didn't end up bleeding a lot. Oh, hear the background noise? That is the garbage man. Actually, it's the recycle garbage man. They're picking up the cartboard. The cartboard? You guys, you got to pick up the cartboard. Oh my God, we have an elephant in the room in the form of a membership gifting. So we better update our board. I didn't update the members yet. We have gone all the way down to 79 members, you guys. We went down to 79 members. I don't know what happened to the 10 members that disappeared. I don't know what happened to them. I hope they're okay. Actually, let's go check. Let's check. Let's make sure that we get 100%. Where's the button? We got to find the buttons first. We got to find the buttons. Keep hearing weird fart noises. Yeah, we're down to 79 members. Anybody out there who thinks I'm a freaking liar, hold on. I'll show you. I'll show you live. This is what we got going on right now. Here we go. I'll show you a window into the memberships. There we go. That's our current memberships. That's not good. We got red numbers, guys. Where's our arrow? Where's our arrow? We need to activate the arrow feature. This? Red? These red numbers. These red numbers are not good, you guys. I don't know if you know much about much, because I don't. But the red numbers are bad. I do know that. I know that the red numbers are bad. We currently only have 79, which makes the arrow super pissed. The arrow gets mad. Okay? The arrow... Oh. We can't hardly contain it, and we just have to turn it off. Okay. Get out of here, red arrow. Get out of here, yellow arrow. Okay. We better remove. We have way too many of these. We're going to remove this. Remove. There we go. We'll remove all those. All right, now our buttons make sense again. Whew, okay. Now, here's the upside. Steve's. Uh-oh, what's his channel name now? Skogs Shrimp and Stuff has gifted 10 memberships to Coral Works, Preston John, G Bear, Luke Wang, Jim Williamson, Kevin Wiesemile, Noser 138, Big Shrimpin, aka Steve C, Dane at Duckweed Elbows. Hey, I like that. Duckweed Elbows, that's nice. And Jen Yu. All been gifted. They've all been gifted a membership. So we got to update this freaking number here, guys. Because we updated it, now we got to re-update it. We got to re-update it back to 89. It was at 89 last week. Then we went down to 79. And now we're back to 89 again. So is that good or bad? It's bad because we need this number to be like 2,000. That's kind of our goal. Our goal is 2,000. Why is the goal 2,000? It's arbitrarily large in order to discourage people from caring. That's why. Right? That's kind of the whole name of the game. Anyhow, we've managed to keep the OSHA board. Who was talking about the OSHA board? Who mentioned the OSHA board? Nabokov fan mentioned it. Got to keep that OSHA injury board happy. Good job. Yeah. You got to keep the OSHA board happy. Otherwise, you get violations, man. You could get red. You could get a red ticket, which is not good. Nabokov fan says the back of the bag of substrate is ridiculous. Why the CChem is so bad at labels and information. Each bag occupies a volume of 325 cubic inches, but doesn't specify depth of the substrate. Oh, I can explain that. So 325 cubic inch actually is the volume of the actual substrate itself. Then you need to calculate how much depth that will do in a tank, right? So let's say your tank is 24 by 48, right? So we get 1,152, And for each inch of depth, you're going to just multiply by 1, right? So like say you wanted 1 inch of depth in a 24 by 48, you would need 1,152 cubic inches. Then if you needed 3 inches of depth, you would need 3,456 cubic inches of substrate. So I feel like they're giving you the information. They probably didn't mention like how to figure out what it is that you need, but that's how you do it. So hopefully that helps. I've always been a big fan of the Fluval Stratum. I have an old video of me comparing them directly out of the bag as to illustrate the volume of each substrate, because the volume, in my opinion, is much more important than how much they weigh. So the bags are sold by the pound, right? They're all sold by, or the kilogram, wherever you are. They're all sold in that way of like, because I forget how much the Seachem bag is. What is it, like 22 pounds or something? How do you spell it? Crap, what's the name of it? Seachem. What's that bag? How much is that bag? 7 kilograms. Oh my god, we've lost our web plug-in. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, if you're gonna buy fluorite, buy it right now. Hold on, let me get the link for you. This is the one time I've ever seen it be the correct price. Paste. Before I post this link, it is an Amazon link. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click it and order it and buy it, I get a commission. I highly recommend you buy things through my links because it gives me a commission. Other than that, I don't frankly care where you buy things from. Boom. There you go. It's currently $19.99, which means it's like it's basically half off for a bag right now of fluorite. So from Seachem on Amazon, 1 day shipping. That's pretty fast. So yeah, if you're going to buy it, I'd buy it from Amazon right now. That's a pretty good deal. $20 for 15 pounds. Typically when it's at its regular price, I feel like the Stratum is a better value because you get much more volume for the amount. And I do find that the Stratum grows plants better. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, it doesn't matter what substrate you have. You could grow it in gravel. You could do whatever. Cool. Yeah. I mean, admittedly, technically, do things matter? Sure. Right? If you get better performance out of something, like let's say you drive an Audi and I drive a Lexus or something, right? Like, yeah, I bet you that the Audi does drive better, faster, this and that. Technically, are we getting to the same place? Yeah. One has better features and drives better. Does it matter to you is the issue there more than anything else. So substrate color, also $10 off 50. Black is unfortunately $35 for the big bag. Yeah, the natural substrate, I honestly think you're realistically not going to be, you're really not going to run into a big issue with the natural versus the black, honestly. My tanks fill up with plants, so I rarely get to see the substrate anyhow. So I would always kind of keep that in mind, that like your tank is probably just going to get filled up with plants, right? That you're probably not even going to really see the substrate at all. So I would take that into account for sure, right? That the color probably isn't going to matter that much down the road. You guys could reference like my old 240 videos if you want. You could go look those up. The substrate in there was all just a mishmash of mixed stuff. I find that the driftwood and the large rock features that you're going to put in your aquarium are probably going to matter a lot more for your aesthetics versus the actual color of the substrate. It's really not, because over time the plants are just going to fill in all of the areas, right? Mikey Fishy has gifted 5 memberships. That is we're having a super generous membership gifting here on a Monday, which brings us closer to our 2,000 member goal, right? We're up at 94 now. We're getting closer to the triple digits. The only issue we've been having is that people they get gifted a membership and then they don't continue being a member after the fact. That's our big issue right now, is membership retention. And YouTube sent me an email and they were like, "Hey, you know what you got to do? You got to make like a big value for people to be a member, right?" And it's like, well, I don't own like a big company where I can give you discounts at Nordstrom's or whatever, right? Like, so I don't have that. I don't mail things out to people because I don't have the time. And on top of it, I'm making as much content as I can, which puts me into a segue of one of our top comments of the week. Oh, hold on. Before we go to top comments of the week, we got to take a segue. We got segue from what I was talking about. Memberships are important. Become a member. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Share the video out. Make clips. Post it up on Reddit. Post up on Reddit and be like, "This guy's an idiot. I think he's the dumbest person I've ever heard in my entire life." Post that on Reddit. We'll get some Reddit views, and maybe we'll find some of those Reddit trolls, and they'll start following the YouTube channel and screaming in the comments, shrieking like banshees. We love it. Shriek like banshees in the comments. Do it. If you're not a weird Redditor, well, actually, if you're somebody who shrieks like a banshee in the comments, first, introduce yourself by saying you're on Replay Team 6 in the comments after the fact and let us know. Don't post it into the chat right now. Post it in the comments. That's a difference. There's a difference there. If you want me to answer something, post that in the chat right now. Right now. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Right? Fish Tank Barnes here. What's up, buddy? Oh, my God. We got a lot of good names in the chat today. That's good. I like that. Probably because it's President's Day. Essentially the most useless holiday of the year. I have no idea why this holiday even exists. Why don't we vote on this holiday? I don't know. We don't do any of that. Speaking of voting, I had a bunch of local people being super piss babies recently about the train crash in Ohio, which I will repeat myself over and over again that it is a tragic disaster. It is tragic. I hope that all of the local people in Ohio, the towns there and everything, I hope they recover. I hope they don't get sick. I hope they don't have long-term effects, damage, health issues, and that kind of stuff. They can always They could always get a settlement to move away, but I don't know if the settlement will help their health. So my first concern is hopefully there's no health effects to the people there. Right. Thoughts and prayers, I guess. I don't know. What am I, the company's liable. The company should be liable. So I don't know if thoughts and prayers matter. I think like prosecutions and litigation matters, but whatever. Prosecutions and litigations to you wished upon your people, I guess. I don't know. Is that how you do it? So, okay. Argument with some locals talking about voting. Today's President's Day, a useless holiday. Nobody is celebrating anything. I mean, I'm not against people having a day off. That's fine. But we have a national holiday here for remember the presidents? I don't know. There was a news story that Jimmy Carter was going to die. He's 98 years old, and I'm like, is this a news story? Carter was president. Okay, he's almost 100 years old. He's, what, 20? Oh, wait, hold on. Life expectancy for men in the USA. I thought it was 74. Oh my God, we've jumped up to 77. So he's lived 22 years past the expectancy, his life expectancy, right? Now, I'm not saying I want Jimmy Carter to die or anything like that. It would be cool if he lived forever. It would give us all hope, right? But I don't even know how that's a news story, but it is that he's not doing well. But he's 98 years old, so I don't even know if that's like, is that a shocker? News. Old, somebody's really old. Anyhow, the reason I bring that up is because I heard a lot of local people freaking out about the trains and this and that. Train crashes and safety, and Joe Biden sucks and he's a piece of crap, and you know what? He should fix everything and he should get all the stuff fixed. And oh man, and if Joe Biden didn't fix it, then what is he doing? He hates everyone. Okay, all right. Well, word. So let's hopefully, first off, my standpoint there was like, you're hoping that like one guy fixes all of this stuff. Which is bonkers to me, that you'd be like, oh my God, you know what we want? Joe Biden to fix everything for us, which is nuts. So I wanted to, so what I was talking to him about was like, if you want increased safety, if you want to make changes, right, for safety and things like that, like you have to do it at a state level. I think we proved that this year when the creeps on the Supreme Court decided to overturn Roe versus Wade because of their weird religious beliefs. Where did my ballot statistics go? Okay, here it is. It's loading. I don't know why it's loading. But we saw that stuff can just be overturned by a couple of creeps in the Supreme Court federally, right? Because they were just like, oh, well, I don't think that should be legal, so I'm just going to vote against everybody. Right? We saw that. But we also saw that those rights, for instance, Roe versus Wade in Washington State, hey, we already passed legislation. Okay, I guess you overturn it federally, but state level dictates that we're gonna go ahead and just keep doing what we're doing here, right? And so my point is that like if you want to, why isn't this? Hold on. So if you wanted to see like increased safety in trains and stuff like that, and you expect that like the federal government's going to oversee all of that stuff, well, I would argue that that's ridiculous. But what you could do is that you could do, oh my God, where are the voting results? Why is this? Ugh, I'm going to scream into the microphone. Okay, here we go. No. Okay, there we go. There, fine, I found it. Anyhow, so if you want to increase those safety regulations, if you want to see stuff like that happen, then what you need to have done is do it at the state level. In Washington State, in 1991, they passed the transportation bill that was a federal bill to allow funding. Now, in 1991, the same time, if that bill had passed and we voted in Washington State, I didn't vote, I wasn't old enough yet, but the fuck out of here with that nonsense. So in Washington State in 1991, they passed that big transportation bill, which brought funding into Washington and all other 49 states and Puerto Rico to improve roads and blah, 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 and create studies and do all this stuff. In 1991, in the state here, we voted to get rid of the triple trailer 18-wheelers, right? So when you see an 18-wheeler with 3 trailers behind it, you can't do that in Washington State. So if you live in, like, Oklahoma or whatever, you're used to seeing triple trailer trucks on the roads. Well, in Washington State, you can't do that. It's against the law here to have 3 trailers behind an 18-wheeler, right? So they outlawed that here because the safety for safety reasons, just said like it's not safe enough, right? It's not safe enough for the roads here, so they ended up getting rid of. They just outlawed it, right? You got a truck, you can have an 18-wheeler, you can have one trailer behind it. That's it. Don't add the third one, right? And that's a perfect example of all of the trucking companies have to follow those rules. Well, you can do the same and increase regulations on things that are happening in the state that you live in, right? I just closed every single window. I hate it when it does that. There. So my whole point is like, well, we could definitely do that if we wanted to do that. Well, just last week, Valentine's Day, we voted in Washington State for, where the hell did there, okay. So we voted for some levies in Washington State, whether or not to fund some fair housing projects, whether or not to fund some schools, very basic stuff. Very basic levies voted upon. Do we want to fund this? Don't we want to fund this, right? Only 28% of people in Washington State even bothered to vote, right? And I believe both of them passed. So the Seattle affordable housing passed by 57%. So if you're in the Seattle area, you could vote on that. A regional fire to expand the board. I didn't vote on that. A school levy, I voted on that. The school levy was approved by 57%, with only 16,000 people even voting in it. The regional fire, the board expansion, only 19,000 people voted in that. The affordable housing, 157,000 people voted in that. Another school levy, 20,000 people voted in that. So you get the idea where I was having a conversation with, like, they don't ever do anything that the voters want to do. They didn't even get half of the people to show up and vote when you don't even have to show up anywhere, right? Only 28% of the people even voted. But why wasn't the vote today? Well, a bunch of people have the day off, right? I don't know. That was my point. Overall, that was my point. On a side note, I don't normally eat breakfast at home. In fact, I don't normally really ever eat breakfast all that often, except lately I have been eating bacon burrito. It's just like eggs and bacon. So that's good. But the last 2 days, I ate at home this like oat and raisin breakfast cereal. And I thought yesterday that I ate lunch and it made me fart a lot. Turns out it's got to be that cereal. That cereal is making me fart like crazy. It's bonkers. On a personal note, lots of farting. Caitlin DeRosier is definitely celebrating having the day off, which I think it would be better if it's like a federal holiday to be quote unquote patriotic or whatever. Are we supposed to be like remembering presidents right now? Like Teddy Roosevelt was a great man. Like, is that what am I supposed to have great reverence right now all day for Lyndon Johnson, right? Who's that? What's that one? What, James Buchanan? Hold on, let's run through the crappy presidents here real quick. Let's see. William McKinley. Did he do a bunch of stuff? Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland. Very important, right? Millard Fillmore. Millard Fillmore. Anyone? Millard Fillmore. Zachary Taylor. Anybody? James K. Polk. Anyone? William H. Harrison. He was only president for 31 days. Let's see. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren. Is Martin Van Buren the guy? Is that the one? That's the president we should remember here? Hold on. He thought to reestablish a two-party system with partisan differences based on ideology rather than personalities or sectional differences. Well, that's the guy. That's right. I remember this. Martin Van Buren. He wanted to reestablish the two-party system. So welcome to when the two-party system began. Martin Van Buren brought you the two-party system in 1824. Yep. So should we be remembering that, or should we be voting on things like school levies in our local areas? I think it's better to be voting. Huawei, you could be right. You could be right. President's Day was combining Washington and Lincoln's birthday. Yeah, I don't think... Well, let's see. History of President's Day. Oh, my God. President's Day is a federal holiday, originally established in 1885 in recognition of President George Washington. The holiday became popularly known as President's Day after it was moved as part of 1971's Uniform Monday Holiday Act in an attempt to create more three-day weekends for the nation's workers. While several states still have individual holidays honoring the birthdays of Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and other figures, President's Day is now popularly viewed as a day to celebrate all U.S. presidents, past and present. The story of the death of George Washington. In 1799, his February 22 birthday became a perennial day of remembrance. Oh, Canada. Yeah, okay. Anyhow, moving on. We've got other things to talk about. Does anybody have anything good in the chat? What's going on? Let me check. I should be reading it. Oh, that reminds me. If you are a member, you can hop onto our Discord. I'm going to open up calls in case anybody wants to call today. Calls are open. If anybody wants to call in, they can give us a call and they can say hi if they like, or ask a question, or a comment, or a complaint, or a concern, or a whatever. We got the head bonks out of our notes. I can't read the first part of my show notes here today because there's a lot of swearing in there. It's weird. We did the head bonks. We did the hit the like button and become a member and share members and do all that stuff. Huawei used their membership chat to highlight the fact that it says, "Hey everybody, AAA, eggplant. I mean heart. Okay. Oh, sorry, aubergine, right?" In 1862, Lincoln issued a proclamation declaring February 22nd a day of celebration honoring Washington. On the history's website here, it says that happened in the year 1800. Story of President's Day begins in 1800. Following the death of George Washington, his February 22nd birthday became a perennial day of remembrance. At the time, Washington was venerated as the most important public figure in American history, and events like the 1832 centennial of his birth and the start of the construction of the Washington Monument in 1848 were cause for national celebration. So, yeah, it looks like it was long before Lincoln declared anything. But, yeah. But, yeah. But, yeah. But, yeah. You know? Yeah. But, yeah. Okay. All right. We're moving on. Moving on to our next comment. Okay. I'm currently using fluoride, thinking about mixing in the sand version on top. I've done that before. Just be sure to understand that it's going to migrate. The sand is going to migrate its way to the bottom, which is why I used I used to use fluorite on the bottom and fluval stratum on the top, because the stratum doesn't fall down into the fluorite. It kind of stays sitting on the top for a long time. I was watching your video about substrate and the mindset of terrestrial farming versus the aquatic perspective. Water leaching away nutrients. Can you talk about fancy soils, if it matters, versus CEC? Realistically, in aquariums, it does. The cation exchange really does matter to a degree. You just want to have something that operates that way, right? Like something that has good cation exchange. Basically, what it is that you get down to the molecular level of nutrients, right? Most of them are positively charged. The substrate has a negative charge. It's able to cling to it, right? That's basically the covalent bond, right? If you guys remember covalent bonds and all that crap from school, like when you were a kid, that's what it's all about. So if cation exchange is just basically the covalent bond that molecules can have, and then if the substrate has that, it will essentially those nutrients will latch onto the substrate and not get washed away into the water column. But because we know that there's going to be water all the time, we want to make sure that those nutrients can latch on and stay there, because we know they're going to be washed away if they don't, right? They're just going to end up free floating around more in the water column. So we're just sort of doing the preemptive strike of, well, we know that these molecules have this tendency. We know what we're going to do in the situation, which means we're going to have it flooded with water, right? And then how we're going to react in our preparation and follow-up and all of the things that we're trying to do. Robin Guppyard just stopped by to say hi. Well, hello. Hi. Good to see you. Preston John says, going out on a limb and saying this publicly, I really like safety Zorb for a planet tank, but only after rinsing it very well. I've used Safety Zorb a bunch of times in the past, especially with the idea of like saving money. And I think you really can. Sorry, somebody turned on the heat. I don't know who did. It's sweaty in here all of a sudden. So blah, 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 blah. What was I talking about? Yeah, the Safety Zorb, you can definitely save money if you're doing big volume projects, but you do have to understand that, like, as you said, you're going to have to rinse it really well. So you're paying for your labor, right? So if that's something that you're signing up to do, then I would say go that route, because you're probably going to save money off more expensive substrates. That almost always relies on the fact of, like, the size of your project, which you're always going to have to make those considerations regardless of whatever your project is. If for instance, like, let's say you have a door. Yeah, let's say you have a red door and you want to paint it black, just like Mick Jagger, right? If you have one door and you want to paint it black, and you just get out the stuff, paint the door, let it dry, put the door back on, blah, 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 not that big of a deal. If you have like 100 doors that are red and you got to get them painted black, it might be worthwhile to hire somebody or consider investing in some better products. You know, you're going to have to make all of these considerations depending on the scope and size of your project and stuff like that. I don't personally like to spend a lot of time rinsing substrate and things because it ends up, in my opinion, being a big waste of time, right? That's the reality of my experience is like, wow, we're really using up a lot of time. That's not very joy-filled, right? That's not very joyous. I don't really feel like I'm making any headway, just rinsing off essentially, you know, fine gravel for hours and hours. So I just don't find a big value in that. I have a limited amount of time, as does everybody else on this planet. And I always try to take that into consideration when I'm making my decisions of like, is this something I can or can't do? Because there's only a finite amount of time. And once you use up that amount of time, it's gone. And then you don't get it back, and that's a huge bummer, as far as I'm concerned, right? So, also, it's definitely one of those things that, like, sometimes I stay up too late because there's only a certain amount of time, and I'll be like, I want to do this thing. I'll sacrifice some sleep. I'll be okay. I'll be okay tomorrow, right? Which does make it does make you more tired, right? But you know, sometimes you got to make those considerations, right? But everybody's got to make their own choices. So, you know, if it's worth it for you guys to rinse stuff, then I think do it. I can't hear. Why do fools? Okay, here we go. Did Corey buy you a new hammer, or did you decide pliers were good enough? Okay, this has to do with a meme that I believe I posted. I posted a meme in the on the Discord that says when you ask an electrician to borrow a hammer, they're going to hand you their lineman pliers, because that's a long-standing joke that electricians never have a hammer. They're just always whacking their pliers. That's their lineman pliers. That's just how it goes. Long-standing joke. To answer the specific question, Corey offered to buy me a new hammer. My hammer got broken on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. I don't remember what day. Wednesday, maybe. And the head of the hammer is fine. The handle's completely broken. And Corey was like, oh, man, we'll buy you a new one. And I was like, this is $100 hammer. The head on it's fine. We just need a new handle. So the company, we ordered a new handle. It'll be here whenever it shows up in the mail. Whenever it arrives, I'll put a new handle back on the hammer. The head of the hammer is in good shape. Nothing wrong with it. So we'll put a new handle on it and be good to go. So the hammer will live on in its new handled state. Okay. Let's go to our questions of the week. I'll post them in the chat. It's easiest just to post them into the chat so you guys know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, first question of the week, or first comment of the week that is a question. Comment question of the week. Weekly? Eh? Weekly? Here it is. From @GoLeafs3. From 2 hours ago, and they have 2 subscribers. I don't know why it does that. So, after planting my stem tissue culture, my plants look ugly. Is this normal for it to look ugly first week? Heard that tissue culture get ugly at first week when planted. Okay. I've gotten a lot of comments like this over the years. It is, for sure, one of the biggest and most prevalent issues of tissue culture plants is that tissue culture plants have a difficult time rebounding from not being growing in the air anymore. Oh my God, do I have to break this comment into 2 comments? I do. Okay, hold on. Anyhow, okay. So with tissue culture plants, this is the biggest issue that they always have, is that the transition from it being a tissue cultured plant to growing underwater is very traumatic for these plants, right? You have a plant that has never been grown underwater. You basically are going to clone whatever plant you have and create the tissue culture plants. They're going to grow in the optimal growing gel, right? They're grown in the air. They've never known growing underwater. They're going to be shipped around. They're going to be packaged around. They're going to be kept cool. You're going to go through all that stuff. Then they're going to end up at your house. Very tiny plants, only ever grown in air. The success rate is very difficult for somebody who hasn't spent a lot of time growing aquarium plants, essentially, right? It's a difficult prospect for somebody who's starting out in the hobby to get a tissue plant, stick it in an aquarium, and then just hope it's going to grow, right? Because that's basically where they're at. They're basically at the point of, I bought this thing, I'm going to put it in my aquarium, and then I'm going to hope that it grows, right? Because that's basically what you got going on. Is that you're going to hope that it grows, and they don't really have any way to follow up on hoping that it grows, right? It's like, I put it in there, and now I'm going to cross my fingers, I'm going to wait, I'm going to see what happens. And that's probably not the best way to get good results from really anything, but especially with like a plant. If you don't know, if your tank is cycled, do you have appropriate lighting for this? Do you have appropriate nutrients available somewhere in there? Have you been adding some CO2 or one of the methods in order to just have CO2? Is this a fully conditioned tank that's been set up and running for a long time? If you notice, potassium deficiency, do you know how to amend that? Is that something that you know how to do quickly, right? So tissue culture plants look awesome in stores. You are going to get a cool plant that has been hand selected to be cloned. So typically speaking, if you grow them out, you're going to be like, wow, that's a really nice plant. Now, the big issue is that, like I said, most people aren't fully geared up to deal with all of the issues of a tissue culture plant just not making it. And them not being huge, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room before you just end up with something that is just dead and there's nothing you can do. So that's a big issue. What is going on? Mike's Aquatics. Who's Mike's Aquatics? Who is that? Let's go look and find out who Mike's Aquatics is. We need a YouTube window. We need a window to the YouTube soul. So the issue that I have with posting any kind of fundraiser in the chat is that I always want to vet the fundraiser before it is posted in the chat. Is it Mike's Aquatics and Things? Is that what it is? Help. This video is entitled Help. What is this? Let's see. It's pretty quiet video.
Not looking good right now, so. $27th on it.
Yeah. So what's going on here? He's got a live stream. He's smoking cigarettes in his live stream. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this person is, and I don't know if you should donate to anything. I don't know. Don't know who that person is, and I don't know what's going on. So I personally, I am somebody who's been around on the internet for a long time. You know, I was on the earth before the internet existed. I've been around since 1200 baud modems, right? Where you guys used to have to use the rotary phone to dial up and make an internet connection via the handset of a telephone landline. And I have been around a litany of scams. Especially I've seen a lot of scams from people that don't have an assigned charity, right? So I would have to vet whatever charity it is, you know, and see what is going on. Because I personally have been scammed a bunch of times by people that it's like, oh, you think that they're normal. I'm not saying anything about this specific person. What I am saying is that I'm always very nervous about the level of scams that have gone on around. I know there's a lot of people around the internet that don't particularly care for my attitude, my opinions, my whatever, you know, my appearance. I don't know. You name it. There's a lot of people that don't seem to care about my personal stance on a lot of things or whatever. But I've been on the internet for a very long time. My YouTube channel has been here for a very long time. I have gone through a lot of issues, and the only GoFundMe I have ever done was for a book project, and yeah, so yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're on YouTube or whatever, like, you know, I don't know, I don't know who that is. So yeah. Well, I know that the Tennessee Fish Mafia doesn't like me very much. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, moving on. Our next question of the week. Where did it go? Oh, okay. Here we go. Is from 365 States of Thought 8. And this is kind of funny because it's sort of contextual to what's going on. Like I said, I'm just posting it in the chat. It's the easiest way to post it up there. Huawei says, "Don't be a dick, Joel." What do you want me to do? What? Oh, please, dear God, tell me how to be. Tell me exactly how I should be. Yeah. You know, okay. To reiterate, I've been around where lots of people have been scammed on the internet, okay? I've been around for a multitude of scams, tons of people that have some illness in the family, illness over here, eviction notices, this, that, the other thing, and then come to find out later on that it was all BS, right? Like it was all just, can somebody give me some money? Alex from Secret Life did a quick live stream last night saying he was having issues with scammers posting comments telling people they won stuff. Yeah, I don't know anything about Alex from the Secrets of the Secrets or whatever that is. I don't, yeah. Yeah. And so, like, I've been around and I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scams from YouTubers, non-YouTubers, people on Facebook, people on Twitter, people on Snapchat, people on MySpace, people on... God, I mean, the list goes on. I've seen scam after scam after scam after scam, so I don't want to promote anybody's fundraiser thing without vetting it myself. So that's why I'm like, what is this? And I don't know who that person is. I don't know who this person is, so I can't say like, yeah, let's post this thing in the chat. That's what I'm saying. You guys are posting about it. It seems to be contextual as to what's going on. I'm saying that I don't trust anybody that I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. People's money has disappeared many, many times for all sorts of crazy projects. From a personal standpoint, the goldfish. What was the goldfish girl? What was the goldfish? Oh my God! Get out of here. Who's the goldfish girl? What was her name? From YouTube? YouTube. She had like 2 different color hair. What was her name? Yeah, this person. Who's that? Are they back on the internet? I don't know. Well, who's this? What's the name of this channel?
Hey guys, it's Jen.
This person. Solid Gold Aquatics. Like, they raised a bunch of money to make to build a fish building, right? They built a building and then disappeared. Right? And then like disappeared from the internet. Right? They were like, "Oh, I built this building, now I'm gone now." What's their... And like, here's the deal, like, I don't wish any bad things on anybody, but like, it was a perfect example of hey guys, I need this money to fund this project, and then they disappeared, right? Yeah. There was like like 4 years ago was basically when they posted their last video, right? Right after they got done like building a new building and all this stuff. And then they just disappeared for 4 years. And then like last year they did some tree frog videos or whatever, right? Like, it's no shade on that person, but like all of the people that donated the like hundreds of thousands of dollars, like they didn't even get anything in return. Like, they didn't even get YouTube videos out of it, right? So I don't know. But yeah, I've been around and seen like the endless scams that exist online. As a matter of fact, I got like 100 emails last night from a bunch of scam nonsense, right? Not to mention like scam phone calls, not to mention like all sorts of stuff, right? So, yeah. Joel is saying he isn't willing to put his reputation on the line to support some random person. We can all do our own research if we feel inclined. Yeah, I mean, that's the reality. Like, honestly, I think, this is how I personally feel. If you want to donate to charity, go for it. Do as much as you want. Do it. Give endless supply of money to the charities, right? But if we can't see like societal change on a level that will actually solve some of these problems that we're creating GoFundMes for, then we're not going to see any progress, right? I kind of highlighted earlier in the stream, and I know that people like start to lose their minds and get all pissed off that I'm talking about like voting turnout and stuff, but it's a perfect example of only 28% showed up to vote on whether or not the schools are going to get more money or less money, funding or less funding, which will apply, which will apply to, all of the people here, right? All of the people in the state. It will apply whether you like it or not. But you can't even get motivated to go vote for that. And would often apply in the same situation as like publicly funded healthcare and whatnot, right? Can't wait to see you tomorrow on Blackie's stream. Just saying. Can't wait to see me what? Can't wait to see me do what on tomorrow on Blackie's stream? Why? Like, do you think my opinion is going to change like tomorrow? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you think that's the case. Anyhow, we'll go on to the second comment of the week from 365 States of Thought 8. I love your channel. I had no idea life stopped you from making content. Thank you for the update and hope your family stays healthy. Great attitude and look forward to more from you when you can. Yeah, and it's a perfect example right there. It's a perfect example right there that, yeah, I mean, I've had to take a step back and, you know, it sucks, but that's life. You know, it is what it is, and to do the best. So Huawei's like super mad. Now I know why you piss people off, you insufferable cunt. Okay, I guess I'm insufferable for not like spam blasting a bunch of like random fundraisers on my YouTube channel, I guess. I can understand someone asking if they can link a fundraiser. You say yes or no. I personally don't think there's anything else to say about it. Some people might feel differently. That is not what was asked in the chat. What was commented in the chat was, please everyone donate what you can to Mike's Aquatics and things since the hospital he hasn't been able to work and is facing eviction. That's what is posted in the chat. It wasn't asked, hey, let's send an email to Joel because he's going to live stream today. Hey, let me send an instant message to Joel because he's going to live stream today. Hey, do you know who this guy is? Hey, this is what's going on. We're trying to do a fundraiser for what's going on. No, what was posted in the chat was that you should donate money on behalf of somebody who I've never heard of before. That's what was posted in the chat. And if you think I'm being a dick about it, great. That's amazing. That's amazing that you think I'm being a dick about going, hey, what's going on here? Like, what's the deal? What's this? What's this? Right? If you think that's me being a jerk, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but there was no question about, hey, could we post this? Hey, could we post that? Hey, here's this person, right? Yeah. I'm trivializing the situation and being a smug little bitch about it. Okay. All right. Is that the deal? Okay. Nobody asked if they could post the link. You guys aren't allowed to post links because you're not moderators, right? All that was posted was we have to donate to somebody. I decided to take a look into it and go like, shoot, I don't know who this person is. They're smoking in their live stream and not really saying anything. I don't know what's happening. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Go out on a limb for, like, people I don't know? Just randomly? Send money somewhere I don't know what's going on? Should I just be, like, wilding out, sharing a bunch of weird links with people? Like, hey, click these links. Go over here. Give money to stuff. I don't know. Should I just... Wait, you know what I should do? I should share a bunch of links about Nigerian princes I know. I know some Nigerian princes that as soon as you transfer the money over, right? As soon as you transfer the money over, the Nigerian prince is going to help make you a billionaire, right? Yeah. On your Busa Philandra video, you discussed planting it in the substrate and planting just the roots. The black sand idea is because I have issues with the fine root plants and the cories uprooting them. Yeah, I mean that's like almost one of the biggest deals with having like Corys in a Planet aquarium, and it's one of those things that like you should definitely have a Planet aquarium that is established with those plants before you put Corydoras in them, because Corydoras are always rooting around down there and knocking stuff up. Most established plants are not going to have a problem, right? You're not going to have a big problem with the Corydoras uprooting the plants because, to be brutally honest with you, Corydoras aren't that big and they're not that aggressive at getting plants up. They'll probably get some dwarf hairgrass and things like that to come up, but hey, you got to weigh the pros and cons. Do you want these fish? Do you want these plants? Can you mix them together? What I would do is just be patient and let the plants grow in, and it's probably going to be a better environment for those Corydoras anyhow once you add them to the aquarium, right? And the chances of them tearing up all of the plants is reduced. But then also at the same time, you could probably just choose plants that the Corydoras aren't going to like bonk into. We had a Corydoras like planted tank, and I'm trying to remember exactly, but we had a lot of Anubias and then some sand area down in the front where they could all just kind of be chilling and doing that stuff, and then a bunch of long grasses in the back and stuff like that were like really established in the plant or really established in the tank, and it became like much less of an issue. It became much less of an issue over the plants getting uprooted. Like it just really wasn't that big of a problem. Oh my God, what the hell just happened? Oh, my USB drive. Do not scan. No. Stop. Oh my God. Don't scan that. Why is it? Ugh. Oh my God. Anyhow, moving on. Skog's called in. What's up, dude?
Oh, just chilling,
Are you just hanging?
just hanging out, man.
Am I losing my mind right now about am I being like overly irate or something? Am I being like a total dick right now about not sharing out random fundraisers during the chat?
No, no, not at all. I've actually been here and been a part of a fundraiser or two that you have allowed.
Right.
And it just starts with a simple question. Hey, this is going on. And you do a little research and you find out. You either say yes or no, and that's that.
Right. Well, it's like one of those weird things. So like here's an example from the last 2 weeks, right? So Aquarium Adventures, if you guys know who he is, Graham, what's his last name? I don't know. I remember his name. I don't remember his last name right now. But Graham, who's the Aquarium Adventures guy, he's a British dude. Maybe he's Irish. I don't know. Might be super. Here's the deal. Irish people would get super mad if you said they were British. So you know what I'm saying. He lives on the UK island out there. And he does a bunch of live streams. He does a lot of like fish content and that. He was coming up on his 100th live stream, and he sent me a message that was like, hey, can you make me a short clip of you basically making fun of the fact that I'm at 100 streams? Here's 2 weeks' time. If you can't do it, no big deal. If you can, I would really appreciate it. Blah, 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 right? All that. Okay, let me see if I can fit it in. So I made him a little short, so that he could play it during his live stream. Very cool, no big deal. But that's a parallel of like, if there's a fundraiser going on, like it's not as though you need to like go down to the post office, put together a bunch of parcels, send me all these like documents and crazy stuff. It would be like, here's an email that says this is what's going on, here's the person. Or even to the point, as was mentioned, that like Dr. Black is a big fan of them or something. Send him a message and be like, hey, I know that some fish people. Can you forward this on behalf of this person that's going on, right? And then I could make a decision ahead of time whether or not I wanted to back something or the validity of something is real or not, right? So is that the real question there is it like, is it important? Is my integrity important to people that watch this channel, right? Like, that's the question that I have. Like, is my integrity important to you? Or should I just do all sorts of scammy nonsense at all times, right? Like, I could literally just make a bot that just spams links in the chat. It's really easy to do. I'm sure you've been to a bunch of live streams that have the automatic bot messages that constantly tell you to buy t-shirts and buy this and buy that and do this and do that and redirect over here to this website and put in your put in your email address, give me your phone number, go ahead and drop your mother's maiden name and your full name and your birthday and all your information into this email so that we can target you ads at all times and constantly send you emails and text messages and all sorts of stuff. I still get text messages from Boost Plant, even though I've told them, and I've literally sent them emails to stop texting me. They got my phone number because I ordered something from them once, and they text messaged me about plants, right?
Wow.
Like, I like Boost Plant. I think they're, well, okay, man, cool company. You guys sell plants. That's rad. Why the F are you texting me? All my alerts are basically turned off on my phone except for specific people and like text messages, right? Because like Vicky is going to text me. Like my mom is going to text me, that kind of stuff. Like that stuff's like basically all turned off on my phone. But yet I get text messages from a plant company that I bought plants from, and I surely didn't opt into the like, give me a phone call because you have a plant sale going on right now, right? Like what the fuck?
Actually, now that you say that, I have gotten text messages from Boost Plant telling me they're having some sale, 10
Right.
or 15%, whatever. And I don't ever remember opting into that, but it's got to be in their terms and conditions somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's like a, when you hit the payment button or whatever, it's like, oh, you just agreed for us to give you phone calls, like what the fuck? Okay, and like I said, it's not a bad company. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm using them literally as an example that everyone would understand. It's like, oh yeah, that's that other plant. That's that plant company. Like I don't work there. Like and like I said, they seem to be a reasonably good company. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're like sending me texts during the day where I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting a text. Hold on, I better pull my phone out. Oh, it's a text to my phone to tell me about a plant sale, right?
Well, if you don't know about the sale, you might end up with some health complications, and
That's true.
there could be fires and destruction.
And Nozer says, I need money for my aquarium. The water level is an inch low. Please help. I mean, I don't know how much like 50 gallons of water is, but you pull up your water bill and send me an email of it, and I'll figure out the 50 gallons of water cost at your house. We'll get the GoFundMe started.
I'll send him $50 right now. An inch of water. Oh my God.
Matt Braun completely agrees with me. I mean, I guess I'm being irrational or whatever. I mean, the thing is, like, one of the things that like I want people to understand is like I'm not even being an asshole while I'm on stream, right? Like I'm not, and it's like, oh, did you get mad about something? It's like, yeah, I got mad about like you disrespecting me. It's like, does that make me an asshole? Like I guess maybe in your world that makes me some kind of asshole or something, but I guess if I like drove over to your house and spit in your face and then you got mad that I spit in your face, it's like, oh, you're an asshole. God, why are you being such an ass? Like it's just some spit. Like who cares, right? Like it's not a big deal. That's super weird. It's just moisture, I don't know. Midstream definitely isn't the time to do a full-blown vet, and I definitely feel like the situation needs to be vetted. An email beforehand would have been common courtesy. Yeah. Reply to spam text with stop, or you can tell your carrier to tell they will get blacklisted on your device. It's true. I have done the stop thing, but I guess I should call my own cell phone carrier to like block cell phone or numbers that are calling me, but it's like self-generated nowadays. Like most of the bots that they use to like call, what they're doing is they're spoofing a local phone number to where you're at. Which I think is, that's also like super scammy. It's like, oh, someone's calling from Seattle. Like, oh, that must just be like somebody's phone number I don't have saved. And then you answer and it's like, hello, this is Steve from Medicare. Do you want Medicare real bad? And it's like, why would Medicare be calling me? That makes no sense. Like, Medicare doesn't even have really like its own representatives that reach out. Like, they have the companies that sell the Medicare. Oh my God, yeah, and they're just like, oh no, we sell. I'm from Medicare, or I'm from Social Security. Like, why would Social Security be calling me? Like, why would you be calling me? Yeah.
I once got a spoofed number of a children's hospital.
Oh really?
Yeah, it showed up like as a children's hospital, whatever. And man, I laid into that guy. Like, you got to be kidding me. Because, like most people are going to answer if it's a children's hospital.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're like, wait, what?
Know.
What's going on?
Apparently, my car's extended warranty was up.
Oh, damn. Well, did you consider upping the warranty? Because, like, if the warranty's expired, like...
Yeah, I tried. I went through the whole spiel with him, and when I told him it was a 1994 Toyota Corolla, he hung up on me.
It was too expired?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is, like, how far do those extended warranties, like, actually go?
The one...
Because normally,
the
like,
one
the warranty on the vehicle is, like, it's like 2 or 3 years for like manufacturer defects, right? Like the door handle just falls off or whatever, right? Like that kind of stuff. And then the drivetrain is like, what, 75, 100,000 miles? But that just means like the engine blew up at like 63,000 miles. They're like, yeah, it worked, but we didn't do a good enough job. We'll put a new motor in there, right?
Right.
Yeah. But they're not going to replace the hood if you like threw the water pump out and it like broke the hood or something. They're not going to replace the hood. They're just going to replace the motor. Like, hey, you figure it out yourself. Here's a motor. Like, that actually would be the funniest warranty of all time. Is like, let's say the motor goes out on your truck, and they just send you a crate motor. Like, oh, here you go. Here's a replacement one, like in the wood box.
I'd have fun with that one. The warranty that my wife has on her car is she got the extended warranty when she bought it. It's 7 years. It just goes for 7 years. And it will replace anything bumper to bumper, no matter what it is. No matter for any reason. She could take it back there at 6 years and 6 months and tell them, I want this thing reupholstered, and they'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, if the water pump does go through the hood, they'll replace the water pump and the hood.
Right.
Yeah. Hey,
agreed.
Quick
Caitlin,
question. Oh, what's that? No.
Oh, Caitlin said, you're not saying he's a horrible person and you don't support it. You're saying you have no clue who he is and don't feel comfortable saying everyone should help, considering you have no clue who he is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know who this person is. I went to go look at what was going on at their live stream. I opened up their live stream that said help on it. I clicked through the video. The only thing I could gather from that was that they were smoking cigarettes during their live stream. That's all I could tell what was going on. So, if that's me being like a total dick, it's like, okay, but like, how about don't smoke during your live stream? Like, if you're having like health problems and you want people to donate money to your health problem situation and you're smoking cigarettes on the stream that says help. My initial impression from that is not good. Is this a bad person? I don't know. One way or another. I have no opinion on this is a good person or a bad person. I don't know who that is. I clicked on it to go like, maybe this is somebody I know. The answer to that was, nope, never seen this person before. Okay, let me click through the video a little bit. It's a live stream asking about money for their health, right? And they're smoking cigarettes. I mean, like if I posted a video of me with a sling around my arm and a needle hanging out of my arm and being like, guys, I got all these health bills. I need you to help me give me some money for my health bills, guys. Like, would your first impression to that be, oh wow, this guy clearly is having health problems. He needs help with some money right now. Like, I don't think that would be your first impression. That was my first impression of what was going on over there, was like, oh, some kind of hospital situation was in the chat. Who is this person? Let's go over there, take a look. First impression, smoking cigarettes on a stream. That was it. For some context, I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I quit smoking cigarettes because I had reasons to quit, like health, a daughter, and health and a daughter. Let's just say there's those two reasons. So if the situation might have been that I was going to get evicted, or if I was going to go buy cigarettes, I would probably have chosen to not buy cigarettes and try to not get evicted. Or if I was going to make a publicly facing statement, I would choose to not be smoking during that time, right? That live stream was a half an hour long. And if that's too long, do a 15-minute stream. I don't know. Aubrey says, quitting is hard and stress makes it harder. That's true. You know, like, it is true. It is hard to quit. Like, I still chew Nicorette gum. You guys know I'm chewing Nicorette gum right now because I like nicotine. I talked to my doctor about it, and I was like, hey, is this a better way to have nicotine? And they were like, yeah, that's basically it. What are all the health consequences behind this? You could have diarrhea sometimes, and you might have elevated heart blood pressure, which I go get my checkups. I don't have elevated blood pressure. And it's true, once in a blue moon, I may or may not have diarrhea. It's probably too much information for everybody out there, but that's what it is. But I rest assured, if I was running a GoFundMe or something, and this was what I wanted to put out there to let people know what was going on, I just wouldn't be doing that during the stream. That's my first impression, and maybe that makes me a jerk. Maybe that makes me an asshole. Maybe that makes me whatever. Okay. Admittedly, I'm a flawed person. I don't do heroin anymore. As a matter of fact, I've been sober now for 3,205 days. I have every bit of empathy for people that are in a hard spot. I regularly help people out in sobriety. I regularly help people out in meetings. Does that make me an asshole? Probably. I don't know what the expectation that people have of me in this world. I get up in the morning, I go to work, I work hard. I try to do the best I can with my kid. I try to do the best I can with my family. Try to do the best I can at work, right? Try to do the best I can at YouTube, trying to make content for people. I'm going to bust my ass to try and get another fish room done without asking for specific donations or a GoFundMe to like help pay for my drywall cost, for instance. But I don't know what else I'm supposed to do to engage with stuff. Suddenly, like, I'm a total dickhead or whatever because I don't want to just put out another GoFundMe type situation from somebody that I have, like, no idea what's going on. New Local Austin says, as a nurse, I am always interested in hearing about your bowel health, part of the job. I would say that, like, typically it's pretty normal. My coffee mug sort of elucidates that. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I get lambasted and vilified and all that great stuff.
Is it a
no,
brown coffee mug that says Corvus makes me poop? Because I
That's
got
right.
one of those.
It's true. It's true. So back to fish tank stuff. Just getting it to take hold before getting uprooted is the thing. Yeah, so with the Corridorus, like, to circle back on the Corridorus thing, yeah, I would just recommend, like, growing a tank without those fish, keeping them somewhere else, or, like, don't get them until a little while down the road. Like, keep them in a quarantine tank or something like that, and just have a tank that's more established, right? And the Corridors are going to do a lot less of just uprooting stuff. But when you add things to the tank, like, you go, oh, okay, I got this new plant, I'm going to go stick it in the tank. The Corridors are going to come over and check out what it is that you just did. And the methodology in which they come check things out is, I'm going to rub my face all around in it with my barbels, and I'm going to get all around in there and see what the hell's going on. And figure it all out, right? And see what's going on. And in the course of doing that, it knocks all the plants out that you just planted. So I don't even think they want to eat the plants. They're just looking around and see what the hell's going on. Like, somebody messed up this area. Maybe it's food. Let me go sniff all through everything and see if there is something edible. And that's basically what they're doing. And if you have an established tank with, like, really grown-in plants, they aren't going to do that. Yeah, I definitely screwed up with not letting the plants establish, and it's been a lesson this time around. Love the fish, love the plants, just moving tanks. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I almost would, like, if you have a 29 and you're moving to a 75, like, what I would do is I would just keep the 29 running, and then, like, keep the Corridorus in there. And just keep them living in there while the planted tank gets going. Because you could probably set the 29 up somewhere that's, like, a little more out of the way. Like, even if you had to put the 75 right where the 29 was, you could just put that tank somewhere else, keep them there for a little while, let the plants grow in, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. Which might be a pain, but I think it's less of a pain than replanting your plants every day for the rest of your life. Yeah. Hey, Joel, everyone been lurking doing water changes on 2 Apisto tanks. Totally understand your view. It's your channel, your decisions. What shall be on it? Many non-streaming chatters don't get that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I try to provide some background that, like, I've been around here a long time. And I've seen lots and lots and lots of scams from lots and lots of different places. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And that, like, it's just like a reality of the internet. Now, I mentioned Solid Gold Aquatics. I think they raised like $200,000 or something wild like that to build that building. They built the building, they got it set up, and then no more videos after that. Now, did they get sick? Did something happen? Sure, maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like, the full gambit behind it, but without, like, talking about anything, like, specifically behind the scenes or anything crazy like that, the forward-facing thing is they gathered up all this money, they built a building, and then they stopped making content for the people that donated to it. Like, I do this live stream every single Monday. Today's President's Day. Vicky and Olivia are here. They're home today. So I'm literally taking time out of my day, like, to do the live stream here. And they're hanging out. I didn't even get to talk to you guys about my new dog. We got a new dog. We adopted a dog, and we're trying out the dog. let's talk about the dog for a minute. Have you seen this dog, Steve? Hold on, let me find my.
No.
I posted him up on the Discord the other day. I picked this maniac up. There we go. This dog right here. This weird dog. This weird dog was run over by a car. I'm gonna block your guys' chat for a minute so you guys can see this dog. So this dog was run over by a car. He was a little dog, run over by a car. His back legs were all smushed and manglified. And whoever owns this dog did not come and get this dog or anything. So it made its way to a old dog adoption place. It's like a senior dogs. I don't know. I'll get the link for it later. Vicky and I have been like dealing with this place for a long time. This is the same people we got Mr. Chips from. If you guys remember Mr. Chips, Mr. Chips died not last year, but the summer before last year. He got too old, and all of his systems went down, and we had to put him to sleep. And I haven't cried that hard, at least since then. I'll say that. But we had to put him down, and like Mr. Chips had no home. He had like nowhere to go. And when we got him, he was like, I would say he was pretty effed up, like because over the first 6 months that we had him, he basically got like way younger than when we got him, and you didn't realize that until you're like looking at pictures like, man, when we got you seemed like you were super old, but now you don't seem super old, but he was just healthier basically. But same place that they find, they basically take in dogs, foster them, and then find homes for them, get them healed up, and figure out what's going on. This dog was run over, as I mentioned. His back leg one of his back legs was destroyed, and then he has like a bunch of scars on his back if you kind of peel back his hair and look. So he's been through the surgery. He's still walking around on 3 legs. The other leg is healing. And so he can sort of use it a little bit. So we've been doing a little bit of the doggy calisthenics with him to try and like build up muscle in the other leg. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. G Bear says, I remember when Mr. Chips would give you love nips. That's right, when he bit my face. He's a badass little dog. He bit my nose. I had a big cut in my nose there for a couple weeks. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you remember that, Steve? He bit my face like a psycho.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which, like in hindsight, it probably was my fault. I mean, you don't like. Although later in life, if I did the exact same thing to him, he wouldn't have bit me then. So who knows? It's unexpected, right? But anyhow, Mr. Chips was a big addition to our family. It was amazing to have been able to take in an old dog. This is another air quote old dog. It's actually like a pretty young dog. They think he's like 2, but because he was run over, they were able to use like the donated funds to get the surgeries done. So they're basically trying to find a stable home for him to go. So we've had him here this weekend. We picked him up on Saturday. We had to drive all hell and gone to go get him, which then Vicky got super pissed off because Vicky offered to drive because this is sort of 90% her project. And so it was like, oh, you're going to drive, right? And then she got super mad because I am narcoleptic in car rides. So, for whatever reason, like I get in a car for a little bit and realize like, oh, we're going to be in here for like a half an hour. Like I just fall asleep. It's very weird, but that's how it is. So Vicky got kind of mad at me because I just kept sleeping in the car. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like entertain you? Like you're driving the car. You've got all the entertainment. I mean, you could change lanes and do flips, you can do whatever you want. You're the one driving. And so we went and picked him up and we crated him home. We put him in the dog crate with his bed and his toys and stuff. We crated him home, got him here, kind of introduced him to the house. Things are going on. And he's doing some typical dog stuff. So one of the things he's very, not very defensive of his food, a little defensive of his food. He's very defensive of his toys, and he's basically harassing the hell out of Biddy so far, but not like a crazy wild rabid beast or anything like that. It's just that Biddy, our other dog, is very emotional, so he's nipped at her a couple times, and Biddy is like, oh my god, it's the end of the world, right? And so, so far we're seeing how it goes. He did nip at Olivia. Olivia took his toy, and he, like, bit at her a little bit, but didn't bite her. He just kind of put his mouth on her and kind of freaked her out. So we're still feeling it out, that if it's going to be okay or not. We'll see how it goes as the dog settles in. Hopefully he'll be our new danger dog, and we'll see how it goes. But so far his name is Chino, which is a city in California. It's a type of weird pants, and it's also the slang term for Chinese people in Spanish. So I suppose there are outs, right? If somebody goes like, why the hell are you screaming Chinese at that dog, right? Why are you calling that dog Chinese? Which I really doubt anybody that's like Spanish speaking would call us on that. But it seems to be like that would be the only community that would even mention anything about it. But Chino just sounds like a weird name for a dog, so we're considering new names. So if anybody has a good idea for names, let me know. Mr. Chips is like the greatest name of all time. So I don't know if we're going to be able to top it. I just said, why don't we just name him Mr. Chips again?
Mr. Chips 2.
Mr. Chips 2, Electric Boogaloo. This
Ooh.
time it's personal, right? Huawei is back saying, Joel, I want to apologize for the way I acted. Hey, man, I'm sorry, too. I don't mean to, like, yell at people or anything like that. But, I feel like I tried to explain myself that, like, hey, let me look into this. Let me see what's going on. This is my initial impression, and I don't, I'm super skeptical of the, like, fundraiser stuff. That was kind of what I was trying to elucidate. I was trying to point out that, like, dude, I'm super skeptical to the point where I could talk about this because it has been resolved long ago, many years ago. To give you an idea of, like, the online community, right? About 1 million years ago, Corey and I used to do a lot of live streams. Corey from Aquarium Co-op. We used to do a lot of live streams. We used to stream together. We used to do all sorts of stuff. Nowadays, we just work together and just leave it at that because the weird negativity that we've received over the years, we were trying to do a giveaway, right? So Corey donated a bunch of stuff. Let's just say just a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff was donated for people that would be memberships, be subscribers on the channel, that kind of stuff. We tried to do a giveaway. But because we were giving away some of it, not all of it, some of it was going to subscribers and some of it was going to some patrons, right? That technically fell within the law that we were running a lottery, and we can't run a lottery. We are not a lottery company, basically, right? And somebody who shall remain nameless, but it is somebody that uploads YouTube videos because I know who it is. Somebody from the YouTube community reported me to the Attorney General's office in my state that I was running a lottery. So I had to clear up all of the legal issues surrounding the fact that I was suddenly running a lottery. Now, that person reporting was super pissed off that I did a live stream with Corey. We have a bunch of emails from that guy claiming that he was the guy who should have been on the live streams with Corey. That was his reasoning, right? So he reported me to the Attorney General's office, who filed a report against me and contacted me, and I had to go through all that crap, right? Of going like, dude, all I'm trying to do is a giveaway for people that like watch my YouTube channel. Like, what is the deal? Like, oh my God, I'm like, am I going to end up in court? Am I going to end up like having to hire a lawyer? I've had to hire lawyers before, right? And we're talking the last time I had to hire a lawyer, I had to. All right, personal story here. Personal story time, guys. The last time I had to hire a lawyer, it was $16,000 out of pocket. Okay? It was $16,000 to hire a lawyer or just go to jail. Those are basically the two options. The two options were hire a lawyer or go to jail. This is what you get. You get hire a lawyer or go to jail. Here's your options, Chief. Which one do you like? Now, I was luckily referred to a pretty darn good lawyer. But here's the issue. If you're somebody like me, I don't have $16,000 in the bank that I can just give to a lawyer. I probably to this day, I still don't even have $16,000 in the bank to give to anybody, let alone a lawyer, right? Now, what they do is they go, oh, hey, we know a thing or two about legal documents. We got paralegals aplenty over here. Don't worry, paralegal Susie Marie whatever over here she'll arrange a bunch of documentation for you to get onto a payment plan. So you'll get yourself onto a payment plan. I was paying basically I had to take all the money out of my bank account, which at the time I think was like $4,000 or something like that. I had to take $4,000 out of my bank account, and then I was paying $500 a week until I was paid up. Or I'd basically just go to jail because the lawyers had me all this like paperwork that was like, you're screwed. You're basically screwed if you don't pay this bill, right? Like, here's all the legal documentations of you being screwed, right? Legal language. It's very legal language, right? So from that, right? So from that, I had to end up having to work like 2.5 jobs, basically. I was working 2 full-time jobs and then a part-time job because like I couldn't afford to work another full-time job because I don't know if you guys are math wizards out there. But you go work 8 hours over here, 8 hours over there. How much time is left, right? So basically I was working 2.5 jobs, full, and all of the money was going to pay the lawyers so that I wouldn't go to jail, right? Hindsight being 2020, it was the right decision. Was it even remotely entertaining at all? No, it was a terrible time. It was a terrible time. It was terribly difficult. It was fraught with anxiety and the unknowing of everything that was going on. Now, here's the weird part. The weird part is that you literally can make that much money if somebody's basically pointing a gun at your head. But, long story short, to return and circle back, people like Steve have my trust. Skog Shrimp and stuff. He's on the call right now. He has my trust. There's a longevity there of knowing that Steven is a trustworthy guy. If Steve had popped on and said, hey, here's a fundraiser, holy crap, this guy, he's a random guy, he needs some help, I'd be like, you know what? Steve gave a recommendation. I would probably trust it, right? I would be like, let me take that. Or Steve Bearteach, even if Steve Bearteach, both Steves, well, multiple Steves in here, but trust both of them. If they were like, hey, here's a thing, can you address this? Yeah, I'd be on it. Both those guys have been around a long time. I've been over to Steve Bearteach's house. By the way, if I needed to go over to Steve's house, I know where it is. I could go over there. It's within range, right? So it's really one of those things where you go like, I've been around a long time. There's a short list of trustworthy people, and there's a much longer list of not trustworthy people, because it's like you're going to get the skeptical eyes. You're going to get just the strong, I don't know if I trust this at all. Is this a scam? I don't know. And so that's where I'm always going to be, right over there. I'm going to be in that. I'm skeptical of what's going on here. Aquarium Co-op is in the chat, says, I still hate that guy. Yeah, me too. I also do. Salient Aquatics is back. Says hello. Hope you all are well. If you guys didn't notice, we got 15 donated chats today, from 10 from Skogs and 5 from Mikey Fishy. Very much appreciate you guys. So if you did get gifted a membership, leave a comment, leave a like or whatever. The algorithmic things are very important. Caitlin says, dang, power went out, so missed everything since the pup. Guess I'll have to join replay team 6 for a little bit to rewatch what I missed. Why did your power go out? What the hell's going on? Oh, if you are in Western Washington, there's a big storm coming tonight. Be aware, it's going to be really windy. So that's your news and weather on the 5s. Yeah, because it's 5 minutes after 3. So everybody got COVID here. Stay away. Oh, that's true. Steve Bearteach got the COVID. He's got the Rona strong. I'm sorry to hear that. Super bummer. If to anybody else out there, if you haven't got your booster shot, go get it. I'm due for mine, I think in a week, because I did get COVID about 4 months ago, and they are saying that now-ish is the time to go get it. So I'm going to go get my booster, and I think you guys should too. I know you only buy our chats at Huawei. To me, you are one of the good, positive ones. Just wanted you to know. Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at anybody. And if anybody's mad at me, then sorry to hear that, but it would be a bummer.
I just got to throw this out there for anybody who may see this in the future. There's only one fundraiser that I have and or / will support, and it's been long done.
Well,
and that was for our good buddy Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb. Caleb is doing very well and has moved to Western Washington. As far as I know, they're doing quite well. I did receive a bunch of backlash from a bunch of YouTube creators when I had mentioned at a convention. I was talking to a bunch of YouTubers, and they were like, "Oh, I'm setting up more fundraisers for Caleb. I'm setting up more fundraisers for Caleb. I'm setting up more fundraisers for Caleb." And it had turned into a really weird, in my mind, it had turned into a really weird thing where it was like, okay, so the whole fish community is helping only this one kid? And I was like, are there some other fundraisers we could all be maybe promoting? Some of the people there have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people following them. And I was like, could we maybe try to help more than just one kid with the hundreds of thousands of people? Could we try to do that? And a bunch of people got super mad and got all they got all mad behind my back. They got super upset about it. And I heard about it later on that they were like, it's unbelievable that you would have turned your back on Caleb. And it's like, I didn't turn my back on Caleb. I was saying that there's 8 billion people on the planet. Can we do more than one fundraiser? Is that a possibility? Is that something that we could do? No? Okay. Well, my bad. Sorry, guys. But I'm so happy to see. I saw Caleb a while ago. What was it, 2 months ago? I don't know how many. I don't know. But he came by the co-op, and young man looks like he's doing great. And as far as I know, Candy's doing real well too out here in Washington. They didn't know what they were missing. They didn't know that they were missing out on Washington, right? They didn't know. But now they do know. Yeah, God forbid we spread the love I like your mentality on that. Yeah, I mean that was just kind of my point is that like at the time, every single video that came out where there was like, we're fundraising for Caleb, and it was like, okay, that's great, we should do that, yes, but also is there do we know of any other people we could help out? Is there any other people that we could help out, like instead of just one? But yeah, either way, in hindsight, I probably just should have said nothing, and then people would be less mad. But then again, I don't know if I like operate going through life attempting to like make people not mad. I guess I don't know how to word that correctly. Steve says, I hope I don't support their internet presence. You might. Central Viewing says, are any of the old live streams still available to view? There are some on Joel's channel and some on Corey's More Aquarium Co-op channel called Real Fish Talk. Yeah, RFT. Yeah, I believe it's like on the secondary Aquarium Co-op channel, has all of the live streams on there, I think. Let me check. Actually, I'm intrigued.
Oh, you didn't miss anything at all, Rusty. Don't worry.
Uh-oh, people are getting messages. Oh, am I getting messages? I'm getting messages now. Uh-oh. Did Gillett sent a voice message. We gotta check this out.
I have not been washed away by a storm. However, because I work in the insurance industry, my life has been washed away by a storm or two, and I cannot attend live streams in a live manner because I have meetings to go to. So I'm a bit late, but I'm safe.
Okay, guys. I don't know if you guys caught that, but Gillett is safe, although his life is ruined by the floods because he works in insurance, and his life has been ruined by insurance meetings because of all the claims. Yeah, if you go over to More Aquarium Co-op, I don't know. Maybe they're on here. Maybe they aren't. Real Fish Talk Podcast. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. It's a playlist on More Aquarium Co-op. Yeah, so you'll be able to find it over there. Is there only 42? Some of them must have been taken down then. Yep, some of them must have been taken down. 100%. Some of them have been taken down. Because there's one right here that's labeled 49, and there's only 42 videos on there. So I don't remember even like how many that we did. I feel like I want to say that we did like 100, but maybe that's not right. Maybe we did 50? I don't know. But yeah, there are some on there, and you guys can go check those out whenever you feel like it if you want. Hashtag do what you like. At Corvus, trying not to offend and make people mad is like playing the classic Mario game. It's true. Most of them are on the More Aquarium Co-op channel. I just recently watched them. Yeah. Oh, that voice you were hearing was Joel G, Mr. Gillett himself, the New Zealander who we mentioned earlier, longtime moderator on the channel. I don't know where he's been, and I was speculating that he had been washed away in one of the disastrous floods that's been going on in New Zealand, and I had hoped that he was safe. And it turns out that his life is saved, but his life is ruined because of all the insurance claims from the floods, essentially. That would be the way to succinctly wrap that up. Some were only private at the time, also some on the main channel. All should be on the podcast. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's the place to go. Go to the podcast, and I think they're all on there. So that's straight from the Koopy's mouth. Yeah, so did I remove? Oh, crap, I removed the dog image file. Dog. Chino. This is Chino, the dog, right here. Yeah, my thought, They said he's between 1 and 2 years old, which is not an elderly dog, but I believe that his surgeries were so extensive that he qualified essentially for help for the left behind. The left behind dog that's what it's called. Left behind dogs washing. I think this is what it is. So we've gone to a bunch of their is it left behind Canine Rescue. These guys. Yes. Is this the right one? I don't know if it's Left Behind. This might be right. It might be wrong. I don't know. I feel like if you go with Left Behind Canine Rescue, you're probably going to be fine. No Paws Left Behind. I think it's Left Behind Canine. Yeah, at a Buckley. I think this is it. This is the Buckley Veterinary Hospital. I think this is the right one, but I could totally be wrong. I'll have to get the information from Vicky for next week. If you guys are interested or whatever. But as far as I know, we've been to a few of their events, so I should definitely know what's going on, but it's not like I do work there or anything. Yeah, so we'll have to figure out what it is. That was why I was asking about soils versus CEC versus additives. My apologies for the confusion. I was curious about how your views had changed from your previous videos, essentially. I think the reality is that I don't think that my views have dramatically changed. I think that my presentation is probably different now. I think as compared to before. And it's probably influenced by building tanks and doing all this kind of stuff. But the biggest thing that you want to do with any hobby out there is you want to promote how you interface with it in a good way, right? Are you having fun? Are you learning things? Are you, I guess it's kind of cheesy, but are you feeling a level of relaxation or peace or satisfaction is probably important. And I think whatever you can do to facilitate those types of feeling from your hobby and whatnot, I think it's important to put energy into that. So let's say you're somebody who's disabled or whatever, and you're having issues with doing your water changes. It's probably worthwhile to invest in some automation for the water change side of it so that you can put a little more energy into researching and things like that. Because it might be just so encumbering to do the water changes, which you could automate a water change system. And so maybe you have to make set aside some resources to automate that, or get some help from a local club or whatever. But doing things like that to make the hobby more enjoyable for you, I think is pretty important. Down south, we had a local guy who was quadriplegic. He didn't have any use of any of his limbs. And it was his dream to get a saltwater reef aquarium. And the local club was able to do that. Set it up, get everything going. And I think where the ball was dropped was who's going to do maintenance, because he can't. And so it turned into a thing where he was continually asking for help to do the maintenance. Can somebody come over and do the maintenance? Can somebody come over and do the maintenance? He kept asking for help, and a lot of times people would go help, but then a lot of times people would be they're kind of doing I don't want to go do that guy's maintenance. I got to do my maintenance. And it started to create some sort of negativity there. And it's and my thought there is maybe a reef aquarium isn't the exact fit for this person. A planet aquarium would have probably been a much better place for him to engage with, because you don't need the level of persistent maintenance that you do with a reef aquarium, because the plants are going to be doing most of the work for you, right? But, you know, of course, it's like, you know, why are you saying that? That's not what he wants. Like, okay, well, you know, like, it's hard to say. Like, well, you know, maybe you're not going to get exactly what you want, but like, if you're going about like doing things in your hobby, like, I think the average person should be like engaging in that way of like, how do I make this more enjoyable, and focus on that more than like frantically trying to grow things at some kind of, you know, Superman rate, right? All right, it's 3:15. That means I gotta go. We got what do you call it? We had 10 gifted memberships today, so that's we got 15. 10 from Steve and 5 from Mikey Fishy with our gifted memberships. Brings us up to 94. We're not back into triple digits, guys. We're going to need to get back into triple digits at some point. What happened? Oh, freaking out because Corey's in the chat. I thought that was just sarcastic. So, yeah, I was just kind of laughing at it. Yeah. Anyhow, it's 3:15. Steve, I love you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Yeah, love you too, buddy. Take care.
Are you what, do you want to hang around after show?
I mean, I got a couple of minutes. It's 6:20 here, so I'm about to go eat dinner.
Oh my God, he's got dinner. He's got dinner coming up. All right, call me later then. I'm gonna hang up on you.
Oh, okay. All right,
get out of here. Go eat dinner.
All
right. Anyhow, to all you regular folks, if you want to call in next week, you can become a member or a patron and get onto the Discord. And you can, when I open up the phone lines, you can call in and yell at Steve if you want. Anyhow, if you are a member, get into the Discord, because then you can yell at me if you like, if that's what you got to do. What are the words coming out of my mouth? Subscribe or whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares about anything. Let's go.